No intro needed. You know who I am. The one, the only. And I am Cairo. Today we're just gonna jump into talking about uh creating adolescence and the process of it, how it meant, what it meant. Now listen, I'm not even going front with y'all. This is a Trader Joe candle. This candle smells so good. Should have been an ad. Thought the clip was so cute. Just couldn't take it out. But anyway, you have to set the scene for creating in a healthy, positive environment. And I take one tip from Basquiat and I have my shows going, something, productive to watch, listening to my favorite kind of music. I have books out, good lighting. I make sure I've eaten a good breakfast. And yes, this is where we're picking up where I had left off from Adolescence. And I went ahead and I took a picture of me. This is one of the only pictures I have of me. Crazy, right? But you've seen the look in the eyes. Like I wanted to capture that vibe, that look in the eyes. So pure, so innocent, you know? I went back, picked up some more yarn, and decided to thicken up some of the pieces. I like when they have a more like three-dimensional feel. And I'll probably go back even after just to keep going until I'm satisfied. Before the beginning of each session, I like to just reconnect with my piece. I do a lot of touching, a lot of feeling. After camera, off this, I prayed just to emotionally reconnect to the work I'm doing. And then I went ahead and jumped right back in, thicken it up. Um, yeah, it's a very tedious, slow process. And I only put clips of it in here. I think it took me about a total of like 4.5 hours to finish doing what I was doing. Because while I wanted to ensure that it looked and felt very childlike because of what I'm trying to convey in my message, every step was very well thought out and intentional. And I just was having fun, honestly. There's so much of me incorporated into these pieces. I love the braided pieces. There's a braided piece on every single piece. And I just feel like, as a child growing up, I learned how to braid, and just braiding and dealing with my own hair journey. It's just been such a, cultural little piece that I've added into each one of these pieces. And I just, yeah, like I love that little tidbit of information. I think it's so cute. Believe it or not, this project has used so much glue. I like to keep track of it. It's on my grocery list. But I've kept track of how many pieces, like how many bottles of glue I've used throughout this project. And so far, we're at the number 23. Insane. As you can see, okay, so I'm ambidextrous, right? Which means, if you don't know, I can like everything I can do with one hand, I can do with the other. And they're at about the same skill level. I think sometimes my left is a little bit stronger than my right. But just to get that childlike feel, I was like, oh, to get that childlike feel, people usually draw with their opposite hand. I can't do that. So I did both. And then I just went straight into finger painting. I feel like in order to get more in touch with my inner child and really feel present in that moment and energy and try to connect back with that version of myself, like going hands on, was really fun. Was really fun. I only got a small clip of me doing that. This piece actually, I cried quite a few times. I feel like when you stop being afraid of your emotions and you let them just run, like, she was so beautiful. She was so beautiful. And I appreciate me at every stage that I have been at. And I'm just grateful for her and her happiness and her pureness and her boldness and her rawness, and connecting back to all of those good things while also dropping off tidbits that don't need to move with me to my next stage. It's just a very emotional journey. It was just a very emotional process, but a very beautiful thing to witness. I'm even tearing up a little bit looking back on me doing it. This was so funny. I was laughing at myself so hard after this, but I don't like to waste any product whatsoever. So every single time I was doing this with my fingers, I decided to go and pull out my like full size like sketchbook, like my, jumbo sketchbook, and I'm finger painting on the paper so I don't waste the paint. That'll probably come up in another project. You'll probably see a piece of this very soon. I'm usually working on like at least 2 to 3 different projects and several pieces at a time, just because they, go together or they invoke the same emotion or blah, 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 blah. But I just thought it was so funny because I kept watching the footage back. I'm watching myself try to run across the living room, try to hurry up. I'm like, oh my God, my fingers is wet. Don't touch nothing. Don't da 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 da. All right, hurry up, come back to the joke, smudge it on me, run back to what I'm doing. Yeah, I just thought that was funny. I hope y'all are laughing right now. So after the finger painting session, this is where we're at. And I think it just made like all of the different colors and different shades. Child's work is usually done so flat. They're not doing a whole lot of combining of colors. So I tried to leave it as flat as possible while using as many colors as possible. I wanted it to match the vibrance that, children's energy usually brings to things. And I was like, what kid doesn't like the color? What kid doesn't like to scribble? So, of course, I had to throw that in there. This is a bag of all of my oil pastels. And I kind of just went crazy, was holding the crayon every different which way. Again, I'm trying to do everything that kids are known for doing. I'm holding the crayons all kinds of different ways. I'm switching hands, da 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 da. And, listening to my music, jamming, having a good time. I studied it so well. The sun in the top corner, the clouds, the whole layout being the sky, the way they draw their houses. I kind of went a little extensive on the houses, the flowers, the everything. I even went as far as reversing some of the lettering, etc. Just making sure I'm leaving extra markings. I allowed myself to be free. I allowed myself to make messes, make mistakes. There's paint on the clouds. The colors are overlapping into each other. Like, kids aren't very like strategic, and that some of them were literally on accident because I was so in the zone, so in the moment that I just allowed to, whatever happened. And after all of those processes, this is what we were left with. This is adolescence. You already know what I say to my friends. Love you. Bye.